Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds Hangout. This nerd.
I'm Ted.
Today we have a Player 911, how to bring out the dark side of your character.
If you have a GM 911 or Player 911 and you want to send it to us, you can do so at nerdarchy@gmail.com. Just put that 911 in the subject, or you can head over to the GM 911 section of our forums on nerdarchy.com.
So this is an interesting situation where this character's playing a tiefling. He's a paladin of Lathander, and he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. He's just basically revealed to the party after a handful of sessions.
He pulls back the hood and poof, horns.
Yeah, he's a tiefling, and he actually thought he was sacrificing himself, and I guess he survived. He messed up.
So he wants to know, how does he go about showing that darker side and allowing that to come out a little bit at a time, and not just, I'm going to slaughter and become essentially the villain.
So it sounds like the way he portrays his character, like he's an oath of devotion, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like the way to play this paladin is actually to play him a little bit like an oath of vengeance paladin, especially when it comes to the bad guys, villains, monsters, and basically. Maybe as the campaign goes on, like starting off with I'm redeemed, so others may redeem themselves as well, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of thing. But as the campaign progresses, maybe it becomes more and more apparent to this paladin that actually no, he's an anomaly, and most of these people are not redeemable.
Right.
There is no hope, and they just need to be driven from the land or destroyed from existence.
As with everything where you want to make a major change to a character, you need a long time, and you need to do it in steps. So, as you said, starting off, allow don't kill your bad guys. Let them run off. Believe that they have sought redemption and they've got the ability to become good.
Take them prisoner, or right. Give long. Have you seen Deadpool? Have you seen the movie Deadpool? Right. If you've seen the movie Deadpool, just think back to that last speech Colossus gives at the very end, right? Uh-huh. And you go that route for most of the campaign. You don't do what Deadpool did, right? Later in the campaign, as it progresses, you totally Deadpool them,
right?
And that would be the arc. Now, if you haven't actually seen Deadpool,
well, then you won't know.
You won't know.
But so you start off, and you have the ability to forgive and to believe and be naive. Trust the bad guys when they say, I'm going to be a good guy from now on, and.
Like another great example is Michael Carpenter and the Knights of the Cross, mm-hmm. right? And it's not so much that they're naive, but anytime they fight their main villain, the Denarians,
right.
All a Denarian has to do is say, I want to repent, and give up their coin. Even if they don't mean it, and the knight knows they don't mean it, they have to accept it.
Exactly.
And they do it all the time to kind of save their lives, and then they get the coin back, and it's just this thing.
This
right?
endless circle. Mm-hmm. So after that, then you can start to push the boundaries a little bit. Every once in a while, like as opposed to delivering mercy and letting someone go, the dark side takes hold, and you actually run someone through.
Well, I actually feel like the lead up to that, you should be kind of role playing some frustration mm-hmm. and angst over the fact that you keep giving them this chance, and no one ever really repents.
Right.
So there should be those moments. Especially if that's how your DM rolls with it, and that's basically what happens. Like, all the monsters really are evil, all the villains are truly villainous, and there's no fixing this, right? So, you start off with trying to convert people and convince them, and giving rousing speeches and being as gallant as possible. Then from there, you move into, you're still kind of doing that, but you're really frustrated, and you're getting angry over it, and maybe you change the tone of your speeches. And your changes, and you become a little
that edge to it.
Yeah, like you're laying down threats at this point. You're a lot less gallant until you actually do cross over to the line where you actually become judge, jury, and executioner. And at that point, maybe your character goes from a paladin of devotion to a paladin of vengeance. Which is possible, and it still keeps you out of the realm of my character is the villain.
Right.
but you know,
It's
you
just,
can be
it's just
harsh.
the way you go about doing it.
And then if your DM wanted to really, you know, have some plot twists and mess with you, you could actually, you know, have some of the villains actually do repent. You know, especially if it happens later in the story arc, it'd be way cooler than early on, which will then make you question what you've already questioned and just leave you completely confused. But you know, it makes from some interesting plot points and points of interest in your character's arc and storyline for him to grow and change.
And that's really, you know, when you play a character that you have this vision for, it's always great to have an idea, to talk with your DM and put together a plan. These type of things are not something that can be done by yourself. This is a conversation you need to have.
It doesn't happen in a vacuum. Absolutely not. You know, you're right. Like we've talked about player goals and character goals over and over again.
Absolutely.
And you know, Ted is really big for putting up, you know, having player goals and character goals that are kind of at odds with each other. You've done that, you know, throughout your different characters.
They're fun.
And the only way to really make them work is to have a discussion with your DM.
Absolutely. So open communications, the ability to have an idea of what you want to do and get the DM on board, because if the DM's not on board for your story, you don't have that story.
Exactly. And you know, also you want it to be worked in so that you're not overshining the other players as well. So it's just, you know, little pieces, and really that could work really with anybody's story because it really just involves the bad guys. Yes. So it could work for anybody's bad guys.
Absolutely.
You could be the one, or you could be the restraining hand early on and be like, no, I know he murdered your family and everything, but you should not kill him. He has still his breath in his lungs. There's still hope.
That he went and murdered his family.
Yeah. So, you know, just some ideas to throw out there. You guys can let us know what you think in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can support us over on Patreon.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.